Oh, some technical difficulties. What a start to the podcast, but welcome into Around the Felt. I'm your host, Reagan Loer, here with our graphic designer, Garrett, filling in for Colin. He's going to be out all week, so Garrett's going to step up to the plate, do some double duty, get it done for us, but we're going to be talking all things from this past week 9, getting into some of our biggest surprises at the midway point because the NFL trade deadline's coming up soon. The fantasy deadlines are coming up soon, but, we're more than halfway through the NFL season already. But, Garrett, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, a lot to talk about. Big week for the NFL.
Yeah, how was your Monday? Was it good?
Monday was good. Our team was on bye, so we didn't have to
Yeah.
sit in our Monday jobs all depressed about another loss. So it was
Yeah,
it was
like
good to get a week off of that.
no, I know. It's like our team is technically hasn't lost the past 2 weeks where, my co-host Colin normally, I mean, he was so upset with the Giants loss that he couldn't even come on the podcast this week. So, it's just about how
Yeah,
you can handle a loss and, stepping up to the plate for you guys. But let's get into the news right away. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of injuries. The big one last night on Sunday Night Football. I mean, Seattle was blowing out the Commanders, but unfortunately, Jaden Daniels, dislocates his elbow in one of the most gruesome injuries I've seen. I know it got a lot of flack, online for Dan Quinn. Like, how do you leave him in the fourth quarter when you're down that much with that little time? But to me, I was fine with it. Ultimately, these are your investments. You're paying them a lot of money. If you want him to play, especially with the fact that he's been injured a lot this year and really hasn't got to play a ton, like, I don't have a problem with it because, listen, he's missed a lot of games with injuries. So if they wanted to give him some more time to kind of knock the rust off of him, you also got to remember, too, he's playing with a very banged up receiver core right now. So he hasn't had a lot of time with all of his injuries to fully establish
well, that's part of
a
the
rapport
reason
with
why
them.
they're mad. And I'll play devil's advocate. Why is he out there if he just got healthy this week? You're the one who said it yourself. He's been dealing with injuries all season. He's not even fully healthy. You're down. What was it? They're down 30 at that point.
Yeah, it
They're
was
they're
basically
not even
30. Yeah,
playing with their number one. So I don't know. I kind of disagree with it. Obviously, like if he doesn't get hurt, no one's talking about it. But I don't think as a guy who's still recovering from multiple injuries this season, he should be out there at that moment. And that was one of the grossest injuries I've seen this season. That
yeah,
really doesn't look good for him. He landed on his elbow and it like almost like popped in the opposite way. It was
yeah. I mean,
not
the good
not good to
thing
see.
is non-throwing shoulder, so that's good. I would
Lattimore
imagine.
also getting injured.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they also haven't announced like if he's out for the season. I would imagine regardless, he'll be out for the season. Like maybe if they were relevant, he'd have a chance to come back. But I think at this point that he's probably done for the year. I mean, it definitely would give him a chance with the fact that it's a non-throwing arm, but still, that was disgusting. In other injuries, Joe Alt unfortunately was put on season-ending IR with an ankle injury, which is a massive, massive loss for that Chargers team. You saw how much pressure's been put on Justin Herbert a lot without, Slater and Alt, and then Alt finally gets back healthy and then now is done for the year. So that's a tough blow for a team that, seems primed to make a big, deep playoff run. Now, I don't know. I mean, I think they can still, steady the ship and make the playoffs. But to me, without those two guys, they're probably looking at a first round exit. Maybe they get lucky and make it to the second round. But,
Yeah,
if you go against some of these top defenses in the AFC with a great, edge rush and interior rush, you're going to be in trouble. Like, imagine matching up against the Broncos with the pressure they can put on you, and they got the defense to guard your receivers. So it could get real ugly and real bad for the Chargers real
I
quick.
mean, yeah, going into the year, that's one of my top O lines of the preseason. Two of the best
Yeah,
tackles in the league, and now they're both out before at midseason. It's brutal, but
yeah,
now we're really going to see what Herbert's made out of and how Harbaugh can coach his way around this.
yeah. And like you said, Lattimore injured, tore his ACL. He's out for the year as well. So massive blow for that Washington secondary as well.
Yep.
In other injury news, Michael Williams, the rookie that the 49ers took, also tore his ACL, out for the year. I mean, this 49ers defense cannot catch a break. I mean, between him, Bosa, Fred Warner, they're just, their top guys just keep going out for the year. I mean, it is going to be another team where, like, hey, they had Super Bowl aspirations, like I was saying with the Chargers, but it may get to a point where it's just too
Yeah.
many injuries to too many key positions that they're not able to steer the ship. They are their team, I would imagine, is going to now make a move for an edge rusher due to the fact that, two of their top three edge rushers are out for the year. So I wouldn't be shocked. And hey,
Yep.
speaking of edge rushers, Philly went out and got one of theirs. I mean, the rich always get richer. So Miami seemingly is going to be sellers at this deadline, and Philly is going to be big time buyers. They've already, added Alexander and Carter to the secondary, and now they get, Jalen Phillips, one of the top edge rushers, really good down in Miami for a third-round pick. So how he's done it again, he's done it,
Yeah, this defense is going to be adding piece because they're adding Nolan Smith back from injury. Brandon Graham's coming back. They're adding 3 new
Yeah.
pieces from trades. I mean, with Vic Fangio, he's going to get these guys going right away, and it's going to look like they won another trade yet again.
Yep. And then another brutal injury. Tucker Kraft did, in fact, tear his ACL. I know initial reports weren't 100% sure, but he did, which is a massive blow, not only to fantasy teams, but to the Green Bay Packers. I mean, he was Jordan Love's number 1 target, and he was making a case to be, at least this year, the number 1, fantasy tight end, and, a case to even be regarded as, a top 5 tight end. He looked great. I was super excited to see what he was doing. I mean, I remember, one Sunday night ago, he was dominating on Sunday Night Football. So very unfortunate. Luke Musgrave is a guy, because we are still a podcast that talks about fantasy football, that I would keep an eye on. He was actually the higher drafted tight end of the two. They both came in the same year. So I would definitely keep an eye on him, just knowing Jordan Love really likes his tight ends a lot. And if he is able to, slide into that Kraft role, you could have yourself a productive guy, and the tight end landscape is so bad. So definitely look around at Luke Musgrave. I believe that was it. Are there any ones that I'm forgetting that you know
CJ
of?
Stroud, I'm not sure if they updated anything with
Yeah,
Stroud
that's
or
right.
not.
Stroud with the concussion left the game. You would think he would miss. It seems like most guys, if they leave with a concussion, end up missing a game. I guess we didn't talk about this. What were you going to say?
If you're a Texans wide receiver owner like Nico or maybe Schultz, or I'm not sure who else really it would be rostered right now, but I don't think there's going to be that much of a drop off with Davis Mills.
No, if anything, it was better for Nico. He was targeting him a lot, so that boded well for him. And I guess we didn't get a chance to talk about this last pod, but Travis Hunter is on the, got injured in practice with a non-contact knee injury. He was placed on the IR. I mean, the good thing his ACL is intact, so it sounds like he may return still this season. It probably really depends on, where Jacksonville's at that point, when he's ready to return. How much they're willing to rush him back and whatnot, but that is a massive blow as well, which I know it happened a couple days ago, but it was after we recorded. So yeah, I mean, that's really the news. I'm sure by the time we record in a couple days for the Week 10 predictions, there'll be a lot more news in terms of trade. Hey, maybe we'll even get to break one at 6:00 on a Monday here on the pod. That would be pretty cool. But let's go to the questions. First up, we got Shawnee Mo. He wants to know, how much is the injury to Tucker Kraft going to hurt the Packers for the remainder of the season?
I mean, it's definitely going to have a massive impact. He was the number 1 option in that offense in the receiving game. Obviously, he's also a good blocking tight end. But I know Matt LaFleur is getting a lot of heat right now, but he's still a great offensive mind. I think he's going to find a way to plug in the next guy, like you said, Musgrave. So, I mean, it definitely hurts, dude. You can't say this team didn't get significantly worse by losing him. But they still have they added Christian Watson last week. He's looked good both 2 games.
Yeah, he has looked good since getting back.
Him and Love have always had a good connection. So, yeah, you lose him, but Watson's slowly getting healthier and healthier. So, it's not a total loss, and the next guy out for them. So
yeah, I mean, it really is unfortunate because he was such a young star. I mean, only 24 years old. Really, he kind of broke out last year, but really having taking that next step into the elite tight ends. And now we sit here and what time will he be back next year? And what will he look like? I mean, he's not a guy that necessarily relies on his speed, but I mean, he's pretty fast for a tight end. So, it's one of those positions where you don't know how he's going to recover and how long he'll be out for. But it's a massive blow because they had Super Bowl aspirations, and you take out their number 1 receiving threat. It just puts that much more pressure on, some of the other tight ends to step up. But not only that, you spent a first-round pick on Matthew Golden. He's got to step up. And so far he has not. Romeo Doubs has been their number 1. Christian Watson looks good since coming back from injury, but they're going to be very, very careful with him. Especially because they gave him an extension even with the injury. So they believe in Christian Watson, but I also don't think they're going to put him back out there for 80, 90% of snaps. He's going to be on a snap count for a while coming back from that big injury. So guys like Matthew Golden definitely need to step up as well. And even Josh Jacobs has been pretty banged up. You can see he's been on a snap count in a sense. And that also could be with Emmanuel Wilson, who you must go pick up your leagues.
Jordan Love himself has to step up. He has to be more protective with the football.
Yeah.
We've seen him 1 week against Packers, obviously played a great game, but this is what he's been last year too. He plays a great game, then he gets a little too overconfident, and then he throws mindless picks. So he's got to clean up his game now too.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Colin, while he couldn't be here, Mr. Big Dog did submit questions, so thank you for that. He wants to know, is it time to put Herbert in elite tier of fantasy quarterbacks after these past 3 games? I think so. So what do you think, man? He's obviously been on fire recently, and it probably helps that the defense has been allowing a lot of points. The one thing I will say, he has been kind of a turnover machine as of late, which
I was thinking that
has been all right. He's still been putting up. So let me tell you the past 3 games for more. He's had 29.9, 26.28, and 28.7, making him the QB2, QB3, QB4, and giving him his 4 games this season as a QB5 or better. I mean, yeah, he's definitely pushing to be in that elite category. I mean, he's a QB number 2 on the season. Granted, he hasn't had his bye yet. On the points per game, he's averaging quick math, 21.79 a game. So he's at 21.8 a game.
These past 3 weeks have been without Hampton and Najee, and this is a team that wanted to be a run-first team in the beginning of the season. So you see him having to rely on throwing in the red zone a lot more, which is good for you fantasy owners of Herbert, because they're gonna have to pass the ball more instead of running it like 2 or 3 times in the red zone. So obviously that's helped his numbers tick up a bit. I mean, what's Colin's question? Is he top 5?
Elite fantasy.
I think everyone already kind of considered him elite. He didn't get
I don't think that's true. I was
high.
not. I definitely did not. He was never in the same tier as Hurts, Allen, Lamar. He's talking fantasy, not NFL. No, I still don't think he's elite. No, he's still that second tier for me. I can't fully put him in the same tier as Allen, Jackson. Was Jaden Daniels because of his rushing build. Like, I know he has been running a lot more. I think he's actually leading in rushing yards, but he doesn't get those cheesy tush-push touchdowns that Allen and Hurts get. So I think ultimately that will always keep him in that second tier. Because to me, I always viewed, like Mahomes, Burrow, and Herbert as like a tier 2, where I guess Mahomes has been running a lot more this year. But no, I still don't view him as the top tier. But he's definitely a must start. Like, you're definitely not like a matchup dependent. Like, he's an auto plug and play. And if you do ended up drafting him and having one of those elite guys, like, maybe move one of them. No, definitely move one of them. So, but yeah, good question. And then he wants to, it's not even a question, but he wants to go, how disgusting is it that James Cook got tackled at the 1 twice? Big Dog apologizes. Insanely disgusting, man. I mean, I feel like it should have hit the parlay. Obviously, we go 3 of 4. So it's unfortunate that it didn't hit. And, they've got down there twice, and James Cook, is on the 3-4 yard line, gets a carry, gets tackled at the 1. And then on the Buffalo side, it's like, I get it. You want to tush push it, guarantee it. But it's like, to me, like, I kind of crazy that they're putting Josh Allen in harm's way on second down. It's like, feed it to the running back twice. Like, I feel like the tush push to me should only be something that you're throwing out there on 4th down. And obviously he didn't get hurt, but it's like, I don't know, that's your franchise quarterback. And the same with the Eagles. Like, it's very, very successful, but I don't think I would try to throw it out there until I
but how many quarterbacks have actually gotten hurt running that? It's not like it's
I don't
a
know.
dangerous
I'm just
play,
saying,
but not necessarily for the quarterback.
Just the way teams are trying to stop it now. I mean, you got a lot of guys jumping in and flailing their bodies, and you're kind of standing up. You get stood up sometimes, and you don't know, like, if somebody's diving at your legs and stuff. So, like, I don't want to wish for it, but you got to think it's a matter of time until somebody gets seriously injured because of that play.
It really works, so it's tough to not.
No, it does.
They go to it on like you said, Cook got stopped on the 1 yard line twice. Both of those times, immediately they line up and no hesitation. They're giving it to Allen right up the middle. And we saw Lawrence was doing not a tush push, but he does one where he stretches the ball out of the plane. Any of these taller quarterbacks who have the longer arms and the bigger frames have been doing all season. And it is good for fantasy for you guys, but
yeah. And I might be a baby because, ultimately it didn't hit because of that, but I don't know. It sucks. But before we get into the matchups, one of the themes I wanted to talk about on this podcast is what are your biggest surprises? If you could give me 3 surprises, and I'll give you 3 as well, and we can go back and forth here. But we're halfway through the season at this point. I would like to know. It could be a player, it could be a team, it could be anything good, bad. But like, what are some things that have surprised you thus far? If you need me to go first to start us off, if you need a
Yeah, if
second
you
to
want to
think,
start
I'm
us
kind of
off,
throwing
go
you on
for it.
throwing you on the spot here. For me, a big surprise has been the New England Patriots. While I thought they would be much improved, to see them at 7-2 is very surprising. Not only that, but to go into Buffalo on Sunday Night Football and really have their coming out party is great. But they also started the season 1-2, and now have rattled off 6 wins in a row. And they got Tampa next week, which is very winnable. And then they got the Jets, Bengals, and Giants. So even if they go 3-4 in that stretch, this team could be sitting 10-3 going to take on Buffalo. So I'm just super surprised. I thought they would be good this year, but I didn't think they'd be this good. I mean, they're going to smash their win total, and that probably tells you, like, when everyone was like, I can't believe Vegas is giving them a 9.5 win total. Like, this team is great. Drake May is great. Vrabel's got them playing at a high level, and the defense has been elite, really good. And granted, I know they don't have the hardest schedule, so some could say they're fool's gold, like I'm looking at it right now. Between the Steelers and the Bills. So 2 out of their 9 games are against teams that were in the playoffs last year. So it has been a cupcake-ish schedule, but at the end of the day, they're getting wins. Drake May's looking good, and the defense is playing at a high level. So they seem primed to not only make the playoffs, but actually have a chance to get that first round bye, not only winning the division as well. So New England's been a very big surprise to me.
No, yeah, and I think we both expected Vrabel to go in there and really like turn it around. But if they end up with the 1 seed in the AFC, like everyone thought they would turn around, but that's a massive turnaround from where they were at the season before. I'm going to highlight not as big of a surprise, but a team I've kind of just been really impressed with is the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, even in games where they're supposed to win, they've proved that they're the better team. They've won when they've been heavy favorites on the road or at home. I knew the offense would be pretty good, but I love what I've seen from the 2 young edge rushers, Byron Young and I'm drawing a blank right now.
Oh, Fisk.
Jared Verse.
Or Verse, but Fisk as well.
Yeah, Fisk too. I mean, they've been playing at an elite level for only the second-year players. And I didn't think the defense would be like all that great, but overall as a team, I feel like they're one of the top powerhouses right now. They barely lost to Philly. They lost in crazy fashion off a blocked field goal, but they're a team that I think is going to go on a serious run this year, and I would not be surprised at all if they're hosting the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I mean that whole division right now outside of Arizona is razor thin tight. I could see any 3 teams winning that division, and also I could see, hopefully all 3 teams are in the playoffs.
The Rams will be on the road in San Francisco this week, so that'll be
quite
a
the
good
battle.
Yeah.
Another team, I'll stick in that division. I mean, Seattle last night and just this season along, like I was very down on them. Sam Darnold is good. He is fixed. He is not, and for me, like as a Jet fan, like that could be why I was so down on him and not buying into the 1-year hype. But even when he went to Carolina, he wasn't great. I mean, he had flashes in both stops, but he is great. So I'm done looking at Sam Darnold as a 1-year wonder. Like he is a good quarterback, and not only that, JSN, you could make a case is the best receiver in the league right now, not just for fantasy football, but like for NFL purposes. And then that defense, man, they're elite, and that secondary is so deep. I can't believe I was so down on this team. My biggest fear was Sam Darnold wouldn't play like this and that the offensive line would hold them back. And they wouldn't be able to establish the run, which they really haven't been good at running the football this year. Like they've been one of the worst running football teams. Like they're only averaging 3.7 a carry, but it hasn't mattered. It's been their passing attack and their very, very good defense. So I think this is a team that could definitely push to be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, I mean, this is, reminders and remnants of the Legion of Boom. Like that's how good this defense is right now. And I would say, you could make a case that this offense is, better than what they were back then. So I'm very impressed with Seattle, and I definitely think, you could sprinkle them potentially to win the Super Bowl. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I know you were pretty down on them going into the year, so.
Hey, I'm eating crow, man. I'm eating crow. That was something I was very off on.
No. Yeah, so my next surprise team I wanted to highlight, kind of in a negative light, was the Las Vegas Raiders. Honestly, it's not that I expected them to be a great team, but when you bring over a decorated coach like Pete Carroll, you bring in a veteran quarterback who's been with this coach before, you bring in Chip Kelly to run the offense, you draft Ashton Genty, and they still look as incompetent as they've ever been. It doesn't look like a different team at all from a year ago. I mean, I expected them to, like, they still fight hard in some of these games, but they just don't. They're not playing like a good team right now. They haven't clicked on offense. Obviously, with Brock Bowers coming back this week, their offense looked like it got rejuvenated a lot, but they still seem like they can't run the ball. Their line is not great. When you draft a stud running back at 7, when you have a bunch of offensive line problems, it's not the smartest move.
Yeah,
it's just a team that I expected to be better. Overall, they just seem incompetent right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate they lost to Jacksonville, and honestly, this segues into mine. Brian Thomas, and honestly, Trevor Lawrence as well. We'll put them in as a combo because the Jaguars as a team are actually not bad. They're 5-3, and they've won some big games. But Brian Thomas's stats, like he through 8 games, he's only got 30 catches for 420 yards and a touchdown. Brian Thomas last year had 87 catches, 1,282 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So Brian Thomas this year is on pace, for like 65 catches, right around 900 yards, and 2 to 3 touchdowns. So big step back in all facets. He was drafted in late first, early second. So a lot of people had big expectations for this guy after his dominant rookie year, where I was already saying like, hey, you can make the case this is the best rookie wide receiver. Like a lot of people are saying Neighbors. There was the people that were still like, I'm not giving up on Marv. But I was like, damn, Brian Thomas may be the best rookie wide receiver. And now, I don't even know if he's top 5 from that class.
There was Ladd McConkey was really good too.
Yeah, and now you look at it and you're like, is he even top 5 in his class? Because right now I like Marv better. Rome has looked good. Ladd has been more consistent. Malik is definitely better because he was dominating before he got injured, and I'm not going to hold it against him, for that brutal injury. But it's definitely a major step back, and I didn't expect it for a guy who's been healthy. Like, yeah, he just got banged up in the Raiders game, but he's been healthy. A lot of drops, and just Trevor Lawrence as well. Like, when are they going to give up on him at this point? You're committing a lot of money, and you spent obviously the first overall pick on the guy, and he's statistically having probably his worst season of his career. Maybe last year you could say, but 9 touchdowns to 6 interceptions in 8 games is really bad. I mean, he's barely averaging over a touchdown a game passing wise. So right now he's really bad. I mean, he's on pace to like he'll still probably throw for over 4,000 yards this year, but I mean, he's only on pace to have like less than 20 passing touchdowns. I don't know, man. He's been impressive with his legs in the red zone, but I don't know. So those are 2 guys that really shocked me that they've been this bad.
Yeah, him and Lawrence just have never been able to get on the same page. Because even when Thomas had his best games last year, it was when Mac Jones came in. Yeah. So I don't know how much of that is just a Trevor problem, or there's something up with those 2. They even said they're willing to listen to trade offers for Thomas.
Yeah, which is wild. But who's your last surprise?
My last surprise is a head coach. It's going to be Brian Schottenheimer from the Cowboys. This coach got hired, and I think everyone from the media kind of shit on Jerry Jones, like, oh, what are you doing? Like, no one else would have given this guy a head coaching job, which is still probably true, but he's honestly made this team not really skip that much of a beat from last year. I know with why am I drawing Mike McCarthy?
Mike McCarthy,
still be winning games. But I mean, Schottenheimer hadn't been has he ever been a head coach before?
No, his dad was. Dad was a great head coach.
And he really looks like him and Dak have like a really good connection. Though obviously the defense needs to step up, but I think with a trade at the deadline, which we'll probably see coming soon.
Well, I saw Jerry came out today and said that a big trade just went down that'll be announced soon. That's going to address a big issue for them. So you would have to imagine it's defense.
Imagine it's Quentin Williams.
It's definitely possible.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they turn around and trade one of the picks they got from the Micah trade. Yeah. Because then you still have your own and you're adding a piece. But I think just overall, like, just because of how like much people expected them to suck, and now with the Commanders kind of taking a step back, like they could definitely finish second in the division.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
they got
they're
to get
still
another
very
win
much
over the
in the
Giants.
wild card hunt. I
Yeah,
mean, they win tonight. We're recording this on a Monday. They're 4-3-1,
yeah.
so
This could
they're
age
very
bad,
much
but
alive. All right, so let's move into the matchups. Felt 5 last week. Colin is now negative 5.2 units on the year. Granted, CD hasn't played yet. I'm up 30.73 units. Garrett, unfortunately, is down 27.84 units. And Zach is up 29.57. He's still waiting on the CD Lamb tonight as well. So basically, if you tell me and Zach, we'll print for you. If you tell Colin and Garrett, just don't. And then the weekly picks between me and Colin. We've actually been doing really well in the spread between the two of us. I'm now 76-58 on the year, 83-50-1 on the money line. Colin is 71-63 on the spread, and 83-50-1 on the money line. So I'm really starting to pull away in the spread, and we are dead even on the money line. So long season, we'll see how that goes. While Colin won't be on the pod Wednesday, he'll still have his picks. And we both have Dallas tonight, so hopefully I can get to 10-4 on week 9. But let's get into the matchups. The first one, Ravens destroy the Dolphins, 28-6, and a must-win game for really both teams. Now it's probably safe to say the Dolphins are done for the year. Obviously, they fired Chris Greer as well. I didn't talk about that earlier, but their GM, who has been there for a while, is now fired. But they kept Mike McDaniels. So some probably thought that was surprising, but I ultimately think it's probably the best move. You don't want to get rid of both guys at the same time. And at least you kind of know with Chris Greer, he's been a loser for a while. It's like Mike McDaniels, like we might as well give him the end of the season, see if there's anything that changes, and then, bring in a fresh new GM, fresh new head coach, and, see what we can do from there. But the Ravens, man, I mean, they get it done 28-6. Lamar looks like MVP Lamar. He looked healthy. He was throwing the ball around the yard. I mean, Mark Andrews with the 2 touchdowns, Derrick Henry, a ton of rushing yards, really having their way. And on the Miami side of the ball, I mean, they were moving the ball like they played better than the score reflected, but just a lot of bad turnovers. I mean, Tua looked uncomfortable the whole time. He is terrible. I would love to see Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson get a start at some point in the near future. I think it's pretty evident that the Dolphins need to move on from Tua, Mike McDaniels, and just full rebuild, new coach, new GM, new quarterback. And A-Chain and Waddle both were okay. Nothing special. But I mean, for the Ravens, since they're the one that matter at this point, I don't think anyone cares about the Dolphins anymore. They're tanking or whatever. They're alive, man. I mean, even with Pittsburgh winning, they're definitely back. So they're going to need some help, but all they can do is just keep winning. And I think the way the schedule is lining up, they'll have plenty of opportunities over the next 4 to 5 weeks to get some big-time wins.
No, for sure. It was good to see Lamar go back and play on a short week, right back into shape. 4 touchdowns. I mean, we didn't see him use his legs much, but it's not like he had to at all.
Yeah,
I mean, Derrick Henry had a great game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Where do you kind of land on the coin when it comes to the Ravens? Or do you think they're going to make it?
To be honest, they were my Super Bowl pick this year, so I'm still gonna say like I think they're still a very dangerous team. I don't think the Chiefs or Bills would want to see them in the playoffs.
Oh no,
I
don't
think
any team.
I still think
One
the
team's gonna get
Patriots are
fucked
great,
over.
but if the Ravens play the Patriots as a wild card going into New England, I'd still favor the Patriots. I'd still like the Ravens over them.
Yeah,
I think this team has a lot of experience too, and they've been playing in huge games for the past like 3-4 years during the Lamar era.
Yeah, and that's the funny
I
thing.
think this team's going to run the table. I'm honestly most excited for their matchups with the Steelers. I think that'll be.
Well, the funny thing, like if Pittsburgh ends up winning the division, Kansas City and Buffalo may actually luck out in the sense that they could also lose their divisions. Like I was talking about it last podcast, there really is a world where the 3 wild cards in the AFC are the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. Like that's a very possible world.
Right.
Damn, would that suck if you're the Patriots, if you're the Broncos. The Colts are probably going to win their division. The Jaguars can still catch them. I'm kind of out on Houston, but imagine being that, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Steelers. It's like, yeah, we got the division. We finally got over that big hump. And it's like, oh, well, we still got to play one of these other juggernauts at home. And it's like, odds are those 3 teams are going to be underdogs at home if they're going against any of those other 3 teams. So wouldn't that be something, though? That definitely would. So I don't know. I mean, I still think Baltimore is going to make the playoffs. Are you in agreement on that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I would bet it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's move on. The Patriots improved to 7-2, win 24-23 over the Falcons. May had a great game. Henderson Henderson in his first official start looked pretty solid, pushing for almost 100 all-purpose yards. Terrell Jennings gets the touchdown. Who? I don't know, but regardless, Terrell Jennings got it done. Pop Douglas, the big game with 4 for 101 on the Falcons side. I mean, Penix had a great game, and he had a great game because he gave the ball to Drake London a lot. 9 for 118 and 3. For those who were trying to get cute with it, some of those talking heads out there that were saying bench Drake London because of the injuries and the Christian Gonzalez matchup. I hope you didn't listen to those. No, I just saw different guys on TikTok. It's like trying to get cute to get the clicks, and it's like I hope you didn't listen to those guys because Drake London, even with the injury destination all week and the tough
it's also like Gonzalez isn't on him the whole time. All of his touchdowns didn't go on Gonzalez. Do you think the Falcons aren't scheming ways to get him into the slot and get him away from Gonzalez? That's why it's like, yeah, you see a matchup like I know Surtain's hurt, but like that's a player you avoid. But like teams will scheme up their best player to get away from a corner like that.
And the only time I'm talking about that is if I have like a Calvin Ridley going against a Surtain, like I'm gonna probably avoid it when he's already like a fringe guy. But like those guys you draft early, like they're top tier for a reason. You can lower expectations, but
looked awesome.
Yeah. No, and I mean, hey, Parker Romo, man, got to make that kick. Brutal loss for Atlanta. Yeah. I mean, me and Colin were all over that we thought Atlanta was going to compete in this game. They played to their competition. Yeah. But it's getting bad for Atlanta. I mean, 3-5 now, and you draw a neutral site game in Berlin next week, 9:30 game against the Colts. Tough. You really can't fall to 3-6. I mean, I hate to say it's must win, but Atlanta can't really afford many more losses at this point. They got to get back in the win column quickly because that NFC is tight right now. And it seems like the way it's shaken up right now, like, I mean, right now, like the Bears are on the Bears and Panthers with 5 wins each are on the outside looking in. So that tells you how tight the NFC is right now. That, you could have 5 wins at this point and still not be in the playoffs.
What gives me a little sneaky hope with the Falcons is that when we start getting to these cold weather games, that they're just going to feed Bijan a shit ton of carries. He's just going to be able to like rack up these 100+ yard games when it gets late into this season. But obviously the Patriots were able to slow him down this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough.
Only 12 attempts.
They're also, they're 2 games. They're 2 or 1.5 back of Carolina, 3 back of Tampa Bay right now. And both those teams had the head-to-head against Atlanta. So you got to think like
it's going to be tough. Loss to the Panthers.
Yeah, so it's going to be a tough for Atlanta. I mean, they're still alive, but got to start rattling off some big wins. And for New England, man, I mean, 7-2. I talked about it earlier. Like their schedule is going to get easier as well. So watch out for the Patriots. They are legit, and Drake May is a stud. But let's move on. Chargers win 27-20 against the Titans. This game was actually pretty close. I actually thought there was a point where I was like, damn, like the Titans might win here. Like, damn, look at all those people that are going to get bounced in the survivor pools. But ultimately, Justin Herbert got it done. 250-2, one really bad pick 6, but also added 57 on the ground and a touchdown. The running backs between Patterson and Vidal were bottled up for the most part, but that's where the Titans are good. They're good against the run. You can beat them in the secondary. The leading receiver for the Chargers was Gaston. Another big week for him at the tight end. No touchdown, but still 5 for 68. I mean, I hope you listened and picked him up because the production he's putting up right now, like he's an every week starter, like top 5 upside. On the Titans side, I mean, Cam Ward still didn't do a lot. I mean, the running backs couldn't get going. Really not a whole lot on the offense. You had 20 points, but one was a punt return touchdown, and the other one was a pick 6. So the fact that your defense and special teams outscored your offense is very
12 for 21 for Cam Ward. I mean, dude, he really showed nothing.
They should have won this game. You should not lose a game when you have a pick 6 and a punt return touchdown. I mean, Titans fans got to be so pissed. Cam Ward looks terrible. He hasn't showed a lot of development, and he'll probably, it's hard to envision him working out. I mean, hopefully they bring in some offensive-minded guy that can fix him next year because somebody's going to be like, I can fix Cam Ward. But damn,
that's what it's going to be. I mean,
Callahan was an offensive mind though, and was supposed to be doing it. And hopefully Mike McCoy can kind of turn him around because for Mike McCoy, I mean, he's been a head coach before, and he's auditioning to remain the coach because this is just if he can rattle off a couple games, like maybe he is a head coach next year. But so far, he hasn't done a good job. I mean, what do you think about Cam Ward?
I haven't seen anything from him. Like, what is there to hang your head on? I know the team wasn't great going in. And I hate the weapons they put around him. Like, and It would look a little bit better if Calvin Ridley had a pulse, but he's
Yeah, I mean,
hurt
he's
half the
injured right
time.
now.
It's tough because, like, obviously you look at their depth chart, and most quarterbacks probably wouldn't be putting up crazy numbers with that. But at the same time, like, that's kind of how we felt about Jaden Daniels and the Commanders last year, and he made it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, he did make it work. And for Cam Ward too, man. I mean, it's been 9 games. He has 5 touchdown passes. Like, that is so unbelievably
The
bad.
interceptions at it.
He's only got 6 interceptions. So it just seems like his interceptions have been like Will Levis-esque, where they're just super, super
I don't know about
embarrassing and
that.
bad. No, I mean,
Will
dude,
Levis,
he's had 2 where he's thrown it and the ball slipped out of his hand. One was I guess
Will Levis was a meme every week.
I know, but Cam Ward's becoming a meme too with his.
Not as bad.
Have you not seen his 2 really bad picks where he threw it and the ball just slipped out of his hand and they got returned for touchdowns? There's been twice now, 2 weeks in a row where he's been running around scrambling and the ball, like, it looked like that Jameis Winston playing for FSU when all of a sudden he just got, like, the ball just slipped out of his hand.
All
So
right.
Cam Ward has had 2 Will Levis-esque turnovers. So it's maybe something about the Titans quarterbacks. I don't know. But all I do know is Titans fans, if anyone's listening that it is, what do you think of that Cam Ward? Are you confident? Do you have any confidence? I don't know how you could.
He hasn't even had a breakout game yet. Like, not even like a miraculous comeback, and like they still lost. Like, it's still like that. You never really feel like they're going to win these games.
Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, I guess he's looked better than Dylan Gabriel. I haven't been impressed with him, but Dart looks way better. Granted, he's probably in a better situation. Tyler Shuck in a similar situation. Like, I was more impressed with what he did in a game against the Rams. Like, he was able to move the ball. Their defense just couldn't get a stop, and the Rams converted every third down. But I was already more impressed with him in one game than I've been impressed with Cam Ward. So I don't know. They got issues there in Tennessee, so hopefully we see some improvement. But let's move on to one of the best games, fantasy football wet dream here. 47-42. Bears beat the Bengals back and forth. I mean, it had everything. I mean, Caleb Williams throwing touchdowns, catching touchdowns, running the ball a ton. And then Joe Flacco, I mean, over 40 years old, throwing for 470 yards. I mean, what now? Just so much fantasy production on the Bears side of things. I mean, Caleb 280-3, added 53 rushing yards, added 22 receiving yards on 2 catches and a touchdown. I mean, he accounted for 4 touchdowns. Loveland, 6 for 118 and 2. Kmet left the game early, so Loveland's a guy. I mean, if he's on your waivers, going to be a popular name. But with that kind of production, go pick him up. I mean, especially if Kmet's going to miss. I mean, you don't draft a guy that early.
Yeah.
To not see that. And I think that
tough. I think a lot of people dropped him. So
yeah, he's out there in all leagues, and he hasn't been very productive so far. But that definitely quiets. Yep, I was going to get to him next, but that definitely quiets that whole Tyler Warren corner. That's like they should have taken him. Like, this is what you can do. This is what he can do. No, but I mean, did you see the play he made? I mean,
it was
to
an
catch
elite
the
play.
ball and bounce off of 2 things. But that's why where those people were questioning it. That's what he brings. I mean, that's the 10th overall pick, and why you take him there, because he's an elite player, and that's an elite play in a big time moment. But yeah, Kyle Monangai is the big story here as well. 26 for 176. I mean, it's going to be a full-blown timeshare. How could it not be? I mean, he may cut into the work. He might. I think him and Swift complement each other. Where and I think knowing Ben Johnson and what he came from with Montgomery and Gibbs, like, they're both going to be utilized. But Monangai is very playable in fantasy going forward.
I think this is his plan all along, because even I don't know if you saw his comments before the season started. He's like, "Yeah, Monangai's gonna get a lot of run for this team, and he's gonna help us win games." And you're starting to see why they drafted this guy to be like the David Montgomery Gibbs type of combo between those two.
Yeah, and on the Bengals side, like I said, Flacco 470-4. I mean, dude, he is very, very playable in fantasy. As long as he's the quarterback of the Bengals. I mean, let me tell you, the last 3 weeks, since becoming the starter, 342-3, 223-2, which is all right, and then 470-4. Like, he's very startable in fantasy football if he's going to throw the ball around the yard. And hey, guess what? It doesn't matter. He's matchup proof. This defense is so bad, they're going to allow 30 to 40 points a game that he's going to be throwing the ball a lot, whether they're down, whether they're up. It doesn't matter. If they're up big, they're probably going to get caught up quick. So I think no matter what, he's matchup proof. So definitely could put him in. Chase Brown in this offense cannot run the ball, which bodes well for him as well. And then T. Higgins, the big game, 7 for 121 and 2. Chase, another 100-yard receiving game, but Chase Brown, 8 for 75, so he saved your week there. But I mean, I think the Bears are legit. I'd still be a little bit worried if you're a Bears fan. I mean, you allowed 42 points to a 40-year-old quarterback. So they got to figure out their defense over there, but they're definitely in the thick of things in that NFC North race. And the Bengals,
dude,
man,
they let up
probably
38 to Justin Fields last week, and then obviously the Bears are a sick offense, but like, there's just even with Joe Burrow, like if this defense was going to play this bad all year, like, what the hell was the plan? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, you saw the offensive players coming out saying like the defense has got to step up. You don't like to see that, so it has the makings of a
Chase
team that's.
It's so angry.
And so was Chase Brown. Both guys came out to the media and was saying stuff. So, the seams are unraveling here, and this seems like a team that's definitely not going to make the playoffs. I mean, I don't know how at 3-6 they can come together and rattle off a couple wins. Like, I don't see it.
Hendrickson's gone too.
Yeah, I mean, this team is going to miss the playoffs.
Gonna,
like, even if Burrow was playing right now, like the vibe is not good. Like, you never see a team that has this kind of stuff coming out with the media and stuff end up turning it around. Like, like that is never good. So I'm out on the Bengals. They probably have blown their chance. Losing these past 2 games, where even if you go 1-1, maybe you feel a little bit different. But losing 2 of these games to 2 teams that were very winnable after that big win against the Steelers. Not ideal. So I'm out on the Bengals. They should be picking in the top 10 next year. Let's move on. Speaking of those Steelers, they get a big win at home against the piss-hot Indianapolis Colts. They win 27-20. That defense is a big storyline here, picking off Daniel Jones 3 times. Aaron Rodgers also added a passing touchdown. Jalen Warren 2 on the ground. Just all things Steelers in this one. I was super impressed, getting sacks, turning them over. I mean, this is the first team to make Daniel Jones look like that New York Giants Daniel Jones we're used to. On the Colts side of things, I think they abandoned the run a little bit. I mean, it's pretty evident that, Daniel Jones throwing the ball 50 times a game and Jonathan Taylor only having 14 carries. Probably not a good recipe to winning. So I think they got to figure out a way to not give up on the run so early. And I'm honestly surprised because a lot of teams have been able to run on Pittsburgh. Like the Jets gashed him, and the Colts have been like the best rushing team on the year. So very shocking here that they got bottled up so much. But I mean, hey, for fantasy, Pierce and Pittman, the big games. And then on the Steelers side of things, Warren had the 2 touchdowns that saved his week. Not a whole lot of fantasy production from that, but the defense
from
stepped
DK.
up. Yeah.
I want to shout out Peyton Wilson. He's a guy I loved coming out of the draft.
From
and
NC State.
He had a quiet rookie season, but 9 tackles, and he had a huge pick. I mean, that guy's a freak. And this is just one of those games that when TJ Watt can take over a game, it doesn't matter who they're playing. If TJ Watt's getting to your quarterback at will, and we saw him get the big strip sack. Yeah. I think he actually did this. He did have a big game against the Colts with Richardson last year, but he did that against the Falcons where, like, if you can't stop him, like, everyone else on the defense is going to look better because they're going to be so worried about keeping the ball away from TJ Watt that it just ruins their game plan. I mean, they had the hottest offense in the league. Like, when TJ Watt's on one, you can't do anything.
I mean, Daniel Jones has looked untouchable through the first 8 weeks, and he had 5 turnovers in this game. So, at least all is right when Daniel Jones is playing like that. But, I mean, I still think he's much improved, but definitely, showing that this team definitely has some issues and, kind of reminds me of, and I know it's early, but, Sam Darnold's in the Vikings last year where it's like, if he's not playing at an elite level and is okay and has some mistakes, this team's not going to go far. So I would say now at this point, this Colts team goes as far as Daniel Jones goes. If he's not Superman, they're going to lose. He's got to be Superman every week and be clean with the ball.
I don't think that entails him being Superman.
I don't know. It just reminds me of the Vikings a lot last year where they were winning a lot of games when Darnold wasn't turning it over. And then the few times he had a couple turnovers, it was just like it was over. And I mean, that is the case for a lot of teams, but you can get away with it still if you're a Chiefs team or, the Eagles or the Bills. Like, you make a couple mistakes, like you still can win a game where Josh Allen has 4 turnovers.
They don't have their defense is decent for the Colts, but they don't have like playmakers that take the ball away a lot.
Yeah, so, I mean the second, much improved, but it's one game, but still 7-2, and a juicy matchup against Atlanta and Berlin next week. But next up, 49ers get the road win over the Giants. They improve to 6-3. Giants fall to 2-4 after the 34-24 win here. all 49ers in this one. Mac Jones getting the start here, getting another win under his resume, really pushing his case to get a starting job or a job where he can compete for next year. McCaffrey, the big storyline as well, over 33 touches in this game, over almost 175 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns, just gashing this Giants defense. Brian Robinson even 5 for 53 and a touchdown. So if you did take him in a best ball league, you actually got some utilization after him.
Yeah, dude. The Giants just gave up at that point in the game. They just let him truck his way into 4 guys into the end zone. That was a joke.
I mean, the Giants side of things, Dart had a good game still. For fantasy at least, he had the 3 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 2 through the air, the 100, 250 all-purpose yards. The backfield, I said it. I thought Singletary would be more involved, and he out-touched Tracy. So if you blew a lot of fab on Tracy, unfortunately, that was a mistake. I think it's going to be a timeshare. Singletary is a veteran they trust. He's a better pass protector. But I was worried about Tracy because he didn't look good this year when he started out as a starter, and he lost that job to Scottaboo. They gave him the respect due to the fact that he was good last year as a rookie, but he lost his job to Scottaboo, and the only reason we thought he might get it back was because of the injury. But at this point, neither guys are startable. They're both rosterable.
They're going to knife each other. They had 8 and 5 carries, and I don't see these guys getting a bunch of touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to want to roster
them.
They're definitely rosterable, but you're not excited to play either of them. I guess if it's a plus matchup, but it actually hurts them too that Dart's willing to use his legs, and they draw up a lot of rushing plays in the end zone. I
didn't even know the Giants had Ray McCloud.
They just got him, which still doesn't matter.
Yeah, I like Wan'Dale Robinson for fantasy. Still a lot going forward.
And Theo's fine. Theo's fine too at the tight end spot, just because it's so scarce.
I know a lot of it came at the end of the game, some of the yards from Dart, but to lose Scatterbo and Malik and playing a much better team, but I get you're at home, but he continues to really look impressive.
Yeah, and they got a tough schedule coming up too. Unfortunately, some really tough games.
They've played a tough schedule already to start, and he's still played good. So
yeah, they got the Bears in Chicago, then they got Green Bay, Detroit, so they get to take on 3 5-win teams. Oh, and guess what? They get the Patriots still, Commanders, Vikings. They still have to play the whole NFC North.
God,
that's brutal.
That is a fucking gauntlet.
At least they end with the Raiders and then the Cowboys at home. So at least the last 2 games could be good.
If Dart's alive by then.
Yeah. I would say
that's a brutal fucking schedule, man.
At this point, I see their ceiling at 5-12, which honestly, looking at the schedule is not bad. And they did have some big wins. Hey, you can hang your hat on the fact that you had some big wins. It's just unfortunate that you can go and beat the Eagles at home and then you lose to the Saints. You gotta win the ones that are the give me's, and unfortunately they haven't been able to do so. So hopefully they can take care of the Raiders.
What was their Vegas win total before the year?
I want to say it was 5.5. So they're going to be right around that.
Yeah.
So
right, you can move on.
Yeah. All right. Broncos beat the Texans 18-15 in a defensive battle, but ultimately they get it done. Bo Nix, not great. 18 for 37, 173 and 2. Threw an interception, but ultimately got it done. Made some big plays when it mattered, especially with his legs on that last drive to get him in the field goal range. Had some big runs there. Dobbins still getting the lion's share, 15 carries to Harvey's 2. Harvey, though, once again, getting into the end zone. He might not be getting the volume, but the dude has a nose for the end zone. I believe he now has 6 or 7 touchdowns on the year. Sutton, only
some
one
bursts
catch.
too. He makes big plays.
It is weird. They're using him as the receiving back. That's evident he's explosive, but I'm very shocked that they took him in the second round and only are giving him 2 carries a game. I understand, Dobbins had a great year last year, but you gave him a 1-year deal, and maybe they're trying to not run Harvey into the ground right away, but to me, to spend that kind of capital and only use a guy for 2 carries a game is very head-scratching. But, their defense looked great. What were you going to say?
I would trust Sean Payton with this one. Maybe it's not they took him that high, but it doesn't mean necessarily he's going to be ready, to just take the backfield over in his first year.
No, I'm not saying take it over. I'm just saying I thought he'd be more involved as a runner. I didn't think that it would be.
I think he's got a lot of burst, dude. When they do give him the ball, he's made some 30+ yard touchdowns this season.
Yeah.
It's also Bo Nix. I kind of start to put a lot of this on him because he has yet to start a game without throwing a damn pick, and the most ridiculous pick I've ever seen. It's every week with this guy. And I like Bo Nix. I'm a Bo Nix fan. I mean, he usually
You're a
ends these
believer?
games. I'm a believer, but he's got to start these games better. They take way too long to get going as an offense. Like, yeah, this week it's the Texans defense, so it's somewhat all right. But like, I mean, I don't know. For a 7-2 team, they look out of whack at lots, out of sync, like whatever I want to say. But barely
Yeah.
beat the Giants, and now, like, yeah, you're a 7-2 team, but I want to see more of a complete game from them next week. And
Yeah, I would
they
like
play
to
the
see that
Chiefs next
too.
week.
I think there'll be a lot of Texans fans trying to blame CJ Stroud going down as the reason they lost this game, but I don't think it matters. This offense is putrid.
No.
I mean, to score, they did move the ball, but to only come away with 5 field goals and be down there that often,
Baron.
not good. I mean, they're really selling this defense big time. The defense is elite, and it's a damn shame because of how good they're playing this year that they're going to miss the playoffs. They're not going to win the division. I mean, they're definitely not dead. They could beat the Jaguars this week, and then they get the Titans next week, and you're like, all right, they're 5-5. But then it gets tougher again. Then they get the Bills, Colts, Chiefs. So, and they still have the Chargers, Chiefs again. But I don't know. I find it hard to believe that with how top heavy the AFC is right now. Like, I think they would have to get to at least 10 wins, and I don't know if I see this team going 7-2 down the stretch to get to 10-7.
Yeah, I think they're going to float around 500 when the year comes to an end.
Yeah, I mean, I had them going 7-10 during the predictions pod, and I still don't feel super confident about that. But I was looking. I mean, the Vegas win total's at 7.5, so I might be spot on. Might be spot on. But let's move on to one of the bigger upsets. The Vikings coming in at 8.5-point underdogs get the win, 27-24 on the road against the Lions. They get their get back after losing to them twice last year and being dominated. JJ McCarthy looked great in this one with his legs. He had a touchdown through the area too. Really big game from him. None of outside of that. I mean, I guess Aaron Jones.
This is return to Michigan. He wanted this one.
Oh, he definitely did. Aaron Jones, almost 100 all-purpose yards. He looks good. I mean, that's back to a timeshare where both guys between Jones and Mason are flex options. Addison and Jefferson, not a whole lot of production, but Jefferson got saved the touchdown. On the Lions side, offense looked pretty clunky. Stafford got sacked 5 times. Big storyline is they're struggling to run the ball this year. I mean, only 65 rushing yards in this game on 20 carries between Montgomery and Gibbs. While I think Montgomery deserves a lot of carries as well, I don't think he should ever be out.
Fumble.
Who?
Montgomery.
Oh. What I was going to say is, though, I don't think he should ever be out rushing Gibbs. Yeah. Like, I don't think you should give Montgomery 11 carries to Gibbs' 9. I don't think you're ever going to win a game where – I mean, that shouldn't be true because if you're trying to get those tough yards at the end of the game, that might be the case. But I think it's pretty fair to point to this and say, hey, the odds are the Lions lost the game if Montgomery's getting more carries than Gibbs.
I guess. I think we've seen it before. I would like to see them get more creative. Obviously, Ben Johnson's gone, so you lose some of those creative plays that they used to run. But I would like to see them use Gibbs as a receiver more.
Yeah, 3 for 3. That's all he had. 3 for 3 as a receiver.
Yeah.
Not good. I mean, the right side is they figured out how to use Jameson Williams a little bit better. I know him and Goff haven't been on the same page. He had the big touchdown to make it a 3-point game late in the fourth quarter, so that was nice. And St. Brown still 9 for 97. Laporta 6 for 97 and 1. Laporta sneakily having a good year so far. I mean, still not what he was his rookie year, but definitely appearing that he's more like he was his rookie year and not after the step back last year. So good to see if you are a Laporta fantasy over. But let's move on to another big upset. Carolina Panthers improved to 5-4 with the 16-13 win in Green Bay, coming in as almost a 2-touchdown underdog. They get it done. And it wasn't because of their offense. I mean, it was because of Rico Dowdle. He had 25 for 130 and 2 as the full-time starter, out carrying Hubbard 25-5. So 5-1 carry ratio was great to see there. But it's their defense that's the big storyline to me. I mean, really stepping up here. Making Love look uncomfortable. Only 1 sack, but, getting the big takeaway. Two defensive takeaways. And on Green Bay side, like, Love didn't look good. Jacobs was okay. I mean, you would have thought he would have done better on the ground. And Dobbs, I mean, was the one that really had a good game. I know they lost Kraft early, but I'm not going to sit here and say that's the big difference maker. I mean, what do you think? First off, do you think the Panthers are legit?
Like, what do you classify for legit?
Like, do you think they could be a playoff team at 5-4? I mean, they have a winning record and they've beaten
Yeah,
some
I
good
think they
teams.
could be a playoff team. I'm not going to say legit because I think they're going to get bounced in the first round either way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like the turnaround they've had. I mean, they had a lot of momentum at the end of last year, and it's good to see that they keep it rolling here. I mean, it's I don't know. I think it's a great win on the road. I don't know. I just find it hard to see this team winning like a big game late in the season when it really comes down to it. But hey, I mean, you got to give them their credit now. Bryce Young is writing off a lot of the haters because look at what CJ Stroud's doing, fucking nothing. And Bryce Young had to face all the criticism earlier in his year. So I'm happy for the player Bryce Young. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's never going to be the recipe to winning. Like, he only had 20 attempts. He was nothing special in this game. I mean, the big storyline on offense was Dowdle, and he looks like one of the top running backs. Like, he'll probably be a Pro Bowler. And since taking over, I mean, he's had over like 100 all-purpose yards in every game, basically. So I think he'll definitely be pushing to lead the league in rushing yards. Like, he may actually catch Jonathan Taylor if he keeps running
Dave
like this.
Canales, Coach of the Year.
I mean, he's definitely in the conversation. I mean, you would think
Yeah.
Vrabel's ahead of him right now. Mike McDaniel or Mike.
I think you got a big thing is preseason expectation though. Like Vrabel, they thought was going to be good. So
yeah,
and
I mean,
he's won it before already.
I would definitely put Canales in the conversation. I mean, you know, especially because he's a first-time head coach. Where, you know, some of the other top stories right now, like, you know, Vrabel, Sean Payton, guys that have had success elsewhere coming in. You know, I guess Steichen's got to be up there just because he's turned them around and having a big season. McDaniel out in Seattle as well.
I wanted to flip it though because I have some stake in some Packers like fans. Like, I keep up with a lot of the discourse, and a ton of them are saying fire LaFleur right now. What do you?
Yeah, I think that would
take
be.
for him
I
to
think
get
that would
fired?
be really dumb. I don't think there's any world where you should fire him or get rid of him.
Right.
You know, every team's going to have their hiccups. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Panthers are better than a lot of people.
No, I mean, like after the season.
Yeah, after the season. I mean, I don't know. They'd have to miss the playoffs. I think they're going to be a playoff team. You know, they're 5-2-1 at this point. I think ultimately, if you're going to point the fingers at anyone, it's got to be at the GM. They've yet to really give Jordan Love a true wide receiver one. So I know they made their attempt in the draft this year, but it would be nice because, I mean, you see all these other elite quarterbacks have some elite wide receivers around them. I mean, I guess Josh Allen doesn't necessarily.
I don't think that's the reason they're
but I think that's. I mean, the defense has. I mean, it's been definitely an offensive issue, but the defense. I mean, they played well in this one, but like, you know, they almost lost to the Cardinals a couple weeks back where they let Jacoby Brissett kind of put up some big numbers. I mean, obviously they get the big win last week. I mean, this game against Philly, where they're favored and at home, will be a very big test. But you know, tying the Cowboys also is not good. So I don't know. Are you worried about the Packers at all? Or are you still looking at them as a
because to me, I'm a little bit worried just because like their division's so damn good. I don't even know if they're the best team in their division right now. So it's tough to say.
The Lions. I don't think they've played the Bears yet. No, they still have the Bears twice, and they have the Vikings again.
And the Bears are.
I think the Vikings twice. So they haven't even played a lot of their division games. They've only played one.
I'm saying,
and they dominated the Lions in that one. So
I don't know. It's tough to say with them. I don't even think they beat the Eagles this week either. So
yeah,
I think it's going to get a little more uglier before it gets better.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the overtime game. Jaguars 30-29 over the Raiders. That one was fun to watch. It's funny, it ended up 30-29, but it was 6-3 at halftime. So a lot of second half production in this one. Trevor Lawrence, you know, okay in this one. Did have a big rushing two big rushing touchdowns. ETN had a pretty solid game. Unfortunately, Brian Thomas got banged out and left early. Parker Washington, 8 for 90. Definitely a must pick up in your fantasy leagues with Hunter going down and, you know, Brian Thomas potentially missing some time. So he's a guy you kind of want to go look at. Gino wrote back in this one. Finally had a good game after some really bad ones. 2 for 84 and 4. 1 interception. I mean, Genty, not a whole lot of production on the ground, but, you know, had a solid fantasy week. And then Brock Bowers, man. I mean, the most fantasy points I think we've seen from an offensive, like, skilled player in 7 years, they said it was. 12 for 127 and 3. Also 6 rushing yards. I mean,
No, not from. It was from a tight end, not a.
Was it a tight end?
Because someone's.
Oh yeah. You're definitely right. Yeah, it was definitely a tight end. He cooked in this one, man.
Kamara had a game where he had like 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Well, that was in 2018, though.
Why? What year did you say?
2018. Like I saw a stat. You might be right. It might be a tight end. It might be since like one of Kelsey's big games because I feel like Chase has had some pretty big games. So you're probably right.
Right. But either way, dude, because you can. I mean, he had 100 yards week 1 before he got hurt, and then he played with a knee injury. The 2 games after that didn't look like himself.
Yeah.
And now that he's fully healthy, you saw Geno Smith. Literally, he was his first read on every play. They gave him end arounds. Now that his knee's healthy, dude, he's gonna. And like you said, with some of the other teams, when your defense is bad, you're going to be trailing. Like,
yeah, they're going to.
Brock Bowers is going to be this team's offense. And as an owner of him in fantasy, took him in the second round. I couldn't be happier. And I just think they're going to keep rolling with him. They're going to live and die by him. Obviously, they go for 2 and lose the game off a batted down pass. You hate to see that after like.
I like honestly, the call from Carroll, though. I will say I do like that call from Carroll. You got to do it at that point. You got to. Yeah. I mean, you don't play for a tie. There's 14 seconds left.
The way he looked at the end of the game, I think they had something open because he was so shocked when that thing up. I think he saw something open.
Yeah. No, I mean it sucks. I mean, Brock Bowers is. If you can go out and get him, you probably missed the jump on that. Unfortunately, now you'd be buying.
What do you mean get him?
Like for fantasy, I'm saying. Like go trade for him, but you probably missed that. Unfortunately, you would have had to buy last week and buy on the injury buy. Now you'd be buying at his peak price. So if you're someone that bought on the injury to a team that probably was struggling, because I'd imagine if you drafted Bowers, you probably weren't a top tier team in your league, knowing that you spent a second round pick on a guy that hasn't played a whole lot. But get ready to reap the rewards soon. So, but let's move on. Rams 34-10 over the Saints. Rams looked great in this one. Saints, they suck. I mean, we'll start with them first. Tyler Shuck, I was impressed for the most part. Really couldn't get the run game going. Kamara looks cooked. Just looks cooked.
Yeah.
Shaheed and Olave had okay games here. Would have thought it was more. But, I mean, the Rams, it just seems like had the ball the whole entire time. I mean, they ran over 70 offensive plays to the like they doubled them up on offensive plays. So
yeah,
these numbers here.
438 total yards of offense.
77 plays to the Saints 40. Time of possession.
I was just looking at that. That's insane.
43 minutes to 16 minutes. So the defense really sold here for the Saints. And the Rams are 7 of 14 on third down and 2 of 2 on fourth down. So this defense, let them convert 9 of 16 times when you got them the third or fourth down. So they really let down Tyler Shuck here. That's why I'm saying I was pretty impressed with him for what he was able to do in limited work. I mean, he only got to throw the ball 24 times. So I hope, I was definitely.
Yeah, thanks to Taysom Hill of Wildcats, just stealing all his third downs.
Yeah, which is a whole nother issue as well. I don't like that because it's like, what? Let him throw the ball. Put him in those high leverage situations. Like you're 1-7. Right now you're trying to see if this guy's legit or not, or if you're going to be drafting someone next year.
I mean,
so let's see how he does in the high leverage situations on third and fourth down. Let's not put Taysom Hill in when everyone knows. All right, well Taysom Hill's in, so he's either handing it off or running it. It's not even like trickery anymore. It's almost like as long as he's in, they got to use him as a decoy more. It pisses me off, Taysom Hill and that whole offense, man. I'm so over that. Let him actually try to develop.
If this team trades Olave, like, what is this team going to look like?
Dumb to trade Olave. That would be so dumb.
I keep hearing it. That's why I wanted to bring it up. But like, if they do that, where the hell? I mean, they also said maybe it's just Shaheed that gets dumped. I don't know because
that'd be like the Jets trading Garrett Wilson. Like, you don't trade your stud wide receivers. Like, if you
but they didn't pay Olave yet.
Because if you trade Olave, you're just going to set up whoever you draft to be the next Cam Ward. Like, leave the good weapons there for the rookie quarterback you're going to draft next year.
With that pick.
I mean, you could,
if you get a second and like a fourth,
you could. I don't know, but then you got to hit on him. At least Olave's good. You're not guaranteed to hit on the guy.
I'm under that side too. I mean, I want to highlight the Rams quick, dude.
Yeah.
The fact that this team, I mean, Puka just got hurt, but I think he's fine.
Yeah.
When they're in the red zone and you have to worry about guarding Puka Nacua, leaving Davante Adams 1v1, and then you have Kyron Williams and Matthew Stafford, one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. It's just like a dream for Sean McVay probably. And who's stopping that? Like,
yeah, it's gonna be
it's
tough to
just
play
having
with
Davante one-on-one it pisses me off because even when they do the fakes to Kyron, he's gonna beat his guy like 90% of the time.
Yeah, man. I mean, Davante is the same age as Cooper Kupp, and I think they definitely made the right decision letting Kupp go and bringing Davante in. I mean, Davante already has 8 receiving touchdowns on the year.
That's what I'm saying. It's insane.
So he's on pace for, to have a chance to beat his best season of 18 that he did with Green Bay when he was peak Davante. I mean, the yards, he may only get to about 1,000.
But they don't need him to be that.
Yeah, that's
guy.
okay. They just need him to be a red zone threat. And right now,
and he's so good
he's
at
leading the league in rushing or receiving touchdowns right now. So him and Stafford are locked in. Puka looks great. Kyron looks great. This offense looks great. And the defense looked great here as well. Forcing a lot of 3-and-outs. So great to see. But let's move on to another good game. Bills 28, Chiefs 21. Who would have thought the Bills would get it done again against the Chiefs? Now, really getting their number in the regular season. Josh Allen, 273-1, 23 of 26, so very efficient with the ball. James Cook, 27 touches, couldn't score, but 27 touches on the ground, as well as catch in the air. 28 times, couldn't have got in once on one of those 28 touches.
I didn't realize he had that many carries.
Yeah, he had a lot of carries, and he had a lot of yards as well. 125 all-purpose yards. Kincaid, 6 for 101 and 1. He had a big game, and on the Chiefs side, I mean, Mahomes looked terrible in this game. Probably the worst I've seen Mahomes look in a while. Which is crazy because he didn't even have the excuse of the injuries. I mean, 15 for 34, 250, no touchdowns, 1 interception, only 5 yards on the ground as well. So something we've been seeing him do a lot was run, not a lot in this. So the Bills had his number. And, hey, if you can play like this and make him look uncomfortable like this and you run him to the playoffs, you might beat him. It's one thing to do it in the regular season, though. It's another thing to do it in the playoffs. But
they can't run the ball, man.
Yeah, Hunt 11 for 49, and that was really it. I mean, I thought Smith would have got a little bit more run to see if the rookies got any juice. I mean, they even brought Clyde back, who Clyde sucks, man. I didn't even know they brought him back.
Yeah, right. He stinks. He wasn't even good when he was in his prime, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Rice 4 for 80, Hollywood 2 for 73, Kelce 4 for 66. I mean, Rice is great. That's one thing I'll say. Rice is great. I mean, it's pretty evident that he is, the number one. He had another touchdown in this one, so he's been a big factor. But definitely, I mean, the Chiefs are going to be a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to win the division at this point. I mean, at 5-4, I would think the Broncos are going to run away with it with how good that defense is. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Kansas City. I mean, they still got to play the Broncos twice, which is good, but they get the Chargers again, who beat them. And, I mean, the Colts, they get again. And while Houston's offense isn't great, I mean, their defense can keep them in any game. So there's definitely going to be some close games for Kansas City down the stretch. I mean, are you worried about Kansas City at all after this one and falling to 5-4?
No. I mean, that is a tough run, and I think their divisional games are they're so important because, like you said, they already lost to the Chargers, and those Denver games are going to be dogfights. I'm not worried about them because ultimately, even if they end up with you don't have to win your division to necessarily set yourself up. If they have to go on the road, I still trust them. Like, I'm still going to put some trust in Patrick Mahomes. I don't know, because a week ago, I was ready to say they'll probably win the AFC again. So I'm not going to overreact to a game in Buffalo where they've lost this game before and still ended up making the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting down the stretch. I mean, Buffalo's still got to catch New England anyway, but there's some good AFC divisional battles and NFC divisional battles, and I'm excited to see transpire. I mean, hey, we're only halfway through the year, so a lot of games still to be played. Some of these teams aren't even halfway through their season. But all right, let's move on to Sunday Night Football. Reminder, we're filming this on a Monday night, so we aren't going to talk about we're not going to talk about the Cardinals-Cowboys game, but we will wrap up with the Seattle Seahawks dominating the Commanders 38-14, getting their 6th win of the year. Sam Darnold was elite in this one. 21 of 24 for 330 and 4. 1 interception, but you take that with how good he looked.
I don't even think he had his first incomplete pass to the second half.
Yeah, he started out 20 for 20.
It really looked like he was in a complete flow state. Everything they were calling, he was rolling out of the pocket and just getting so much space. I don't know if it's the Commanders' D-line is that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to.
He would roll out.
There were a couple plays where it was like the Commanders were just getting cooked too. Like, you got to give the receivers credit. It wasn't all Sam Darnold making a good
no, I don't mean that. I'm just saying the way they drew up their game plan this week.
Yeah.
Like, he was fully confident in it. Well, JSN, there's no one that was guarding him at all. I mean, Lattimore already did look cooked. And it's kind of funny because the one guy, Brian Forbes, had a pick for the Rams. And he was he looked washed on the Redskins. Now somewhat looks okay.
Yeah, and how about the rookie too, man? Tory Horton for the Seattle. He has 13 catches on the year. He has 5 receiving touchdowns, and he also has 1 as a returner. So the dude only has 13 catches, but has 6 touchdowns. I mean, that is absurd. But definitely a guy you want to pick up in your dynasty leagues if he's out there at this point. Probably not, but at least
Definitely
in redraft, you definitely want to pick him up. He's got a nose for the end zone. But not only that, like, I'm not worried about Cooper Kupp, and this seems to be a way high-powered offense that really can't run the ball, so he really can slide in and take over that number 2 role.
Are you worried about your boy Bill?
Yeah, I traded away. I'm so out on him, especially now. Like, if you can trade him away still. I mean, I traded him away for Fannin and Travion, and I would have probably done it for Travion straight up because at least there's the potential where if he eventually wins the job, the offense is going to be good. But if this Commanders team is left, is with Mariota the rest of the season, I'm worried about just about everyone outside of Zach Ertz because I think Zach Ertz will get to his regardless, and Mariota historically loves his tight ends. So if anything, Ertz might get a slight bump, but McLaurin, who's already injured, I'm worried about. Debo, I view this as a downgrade.
I think he'll still get schemed up like runs and weird shit. That
Debo, but they haven't been really doing that. So he's been terrible the past couple weeks. And for Merritt, I want nothing to do with it. I mean, the backfield's terrible. If you can trade him away and try to sell high in the fact that he's a starting running back. But it's a couple bad weeks in a row, and it's only going to get worse. Like, the offense isn't going to get better with Mariota; it's going to get worse. So definitely worried about that. I mean, it sucks for the Commanders. I think at this point, at this point, they got a tough matchup at home against the Lions. You drop that, you're going to 3-7. It's like they're probably done. I mean, I think with Daniels being done for the year and the defense looking this bad as of recent, I mean, really getting cooked the past 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, the past 4 weeks, they've allowed 25 more points in each game, 25 or more points in each game. So it's not only the fact that Daniels has been missing, but the defense has been terrible. So if you don't have Superman to continue to put up big points each week, it's going to look bad. So I'm out on
Do
the
they even
Commanders.
have a bunch of draft picks? Because they made a lot of trades to go all in.
Yeah, I would have to look that up right now. Hold on. I mean, I don't remember what they gave up for Tunsil, but you gotta hope they would have their.
I think it was a future second.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that they still have their. Yeah, they do have their first.
No, they
round.
do their first. It's a 10.
They don't have their second and fourth, so that's not ideal. They only have 6 picks next year, and only 2 of them are. Yeah, 2 of the 6 are one's a first, one's a third, and the rest are 5, 2 6, and a 7th. So that's very unfortunate that you're going to be in you're going to lose a lot of games this year and have a good pick. But they could always trade away that pick if they end up being a bottom 5, bottom 10 team. They could always trade that away to a quarterback needy team and try to.
You think they're going to sell anyone at the deadline now that they know Jaden's hurt?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to consider it. I don't know, who you really sell. Like maybe a team wants a Zach Ertz or a Deebo Samuel. I mean, nobody's gonna buy Terry with that contract. The running backs are too young. And on the defensive side of the ball, they got some names. So yeah, I could see them selling some of the defensive guys or maybe one of the linemen. Yeah, it's tough because I just don't see them. Even if Daniels somehow can return this year, like why would they bring him back?
A bad game.
Yeah, I mean,
worst contract I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't understand that. 3 years, $45 million
I hate
for a backup lineman. He was so bad on the Jets. I don't know what they saw to pay him, but
I don't know. Well, they did it with Frankie Louvo and it worked. But
yeah, it did work with Louvo, but he at least had some success in Carolina before coming over.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know.
Sorry, Walmart, but no more talking shit when you come on here.
But yeah, that really wraps it up. I mean, do you have any other final thoughts before before we end this thing?
No, I'm good. Why is there a pumpkin on my screen?
I don't know. There's not one on mine. That's odd. But yeah, I mean, that really wraps it up, guys. If you stuck through it at this point, we appreciate you listening to this recap. I mean, hey, we're halfway through our fantasy league, so let's keep pushing it. There is a pumpkin on your screen now. What the heck? That was not there before. That is very odd. Garrett's, celebrating Halloween still, apparently. I don't really know how that happened. Let me see if I can take that off. Oh, the pumpkin's gone. Good. So, I mean, hopefully we can get you, into your fantasy playoffs. If you have any questions, waiver wire ads, trade for targets. I mean, your fantasy trade deadlines are approaching fast. NFL trade deadline approaching fast. So we'll probably do some sort of mini pod to break down all that because, in recent memory, there's usually 20, 30 trades that go down. So maybe we'll do a mini pod to break down all the biggest trades and stuff. And, just keep submitting questions and tune in later in the week. We'll get into week 10. Believe it or not, we're already there. Week 10.
Yes,
but yeah, that's all we got. So Garrett, thanks again for joining us. And that wraps up another